Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. Wednesday, the 15th of February. It's hump day, and the market had a difficult afternoon with Apple reversing sharply. Not sure whether that means we're going lower, but it sure looks like that potential was put in today. We'll see what kind of follow through they get, if any. I'm going to go over both longs and shorts today. Show you some of the stocks that we're looking positive and negative. On the strong side, a couple of the medium range oil and energy stocks had big days. Look at Devon Energy today. Exploded out of this coiling base and on a volume that was the biggest volume I've seen in years of almost 13 million shares, 12.8 million. It broke up through the pattern and through the resistance and closed near the upper end of the range. And very conceivably, we may see this extend towards the 75 range short term. That secondary target up about 83, 84. LCA-Vision had another nice day today. Kind of an inside day I wanted to point it out to you. After the big pop and then a month-long flag, it exploded for 2 days, but a very tight inside day today. Still up 28 cents or 4%, and volume was 230,000 shares, not big, but this is a stock that looks like it has enough momentum to carry forward up to the 7 3/4, 8 range, and maybe even get up towards 9 1/4. TVIX, quite the interesting stock. Hang on one moment. Okay. Yes, I wanted to go over one other energy stock first. A couple others actually. EGI, I don't know, was another junior oil that had a spectacular session today. You'll see the breakout here in a second. The head and shoulders pattern here was exploded over the last couple days through, and today jumped dramatically from 720 to 893, closed 855, up $1.38, 19.2% and 4.5 million traded, biggest volume since June of last year on the down day, biggest volume on an up day in the last couple of years. More importantly, when you look at a weekly chart, you'll see that key overhead resistance up in this zone is being tested right now. If it breaks out of this long base, and this is a 5-6 year base, we can see the stock explode into the mid-teens. Another very strong energy stock today was XEG, that's Cimarex Energy. After the big move down from the high 117.18 range down to the mid-50s, low 50s actually, the stock bounced this year, pulled back and formed a larger basing pattern, from which it moved up, flagged, and then exploded today, up 1281 or 18.6%. 6.6 million, that's by far the biggest volume I've ever seen in the stock. And even though we did reach and close right near it because key resistance range, momentum could carry this into the high 80s, maybe low 90s. Low price GRVY, Gravity software company. Looking at the 2-day chart, you'll see a long 3-year base pattern here, or platform, I should say, because it's not a base. The base would form on a bottom here. It is a basing formation off of a spike up to resistance and then consolidate here for a couple of 3 years. But you can see that it's up in a resistance zone that have taken out. This needs to be watched through the 265 area. This stock could accelerate towards 4 1/4 or better. Here's the daily chart one more time. See that sharp move up. Could very well get back off in here and consolidate. That would be ideal. Threshold Pharmaceuticals had a big day today. Now, in the last couple of days, take a look at this pattern here. You can see the stock had run up really sharply 2 weeks ago. We traded it there. It pulled back, bounced, and then backed off again. But for 4 days, it held this 293 zone. And today popped from 294 to 358, close 344, up 44 cents or almost 15%. Big move. Volume picked up to the best level in a week. I mean, we may very well test 4.405 short term. We get to that, my target is at 5 1/4. Quick look at the LGF. What a fantastic move of late on Lionsgate. It's gone from 8 to 12, 50% in the last 6 weeks, and continues to press higher up another 82 cents or 7 1/4% today on 2.6 million. We've actually moved up through resistance, and I want to look at a weekly chart here to show you something. The big base broken, the pullback here, and a strong move up. We're a little bit overbought short term, but momentum's a funny thing. This is a very strong stock, and it's now taken out the 04 and 06 and 08 highs. Right here, or right at it anyway. So this is a key area for it to get through. Keep a close eye on this one because a failure here could pull it right back quickly. Dendreon had a pretty good day, although it didn't close well. It was up 25 cents. At one point, it was up as high as, it jumped from 1387 to 1550, closed 1471. So mid-range, but if you come in closely, you'll see that this line here has held and it bounced off of that today. But we need a follow through. I want to see DNDN take out that line. And if it does that, it takes out this little wedge, we can expect to see a move near the, let's call it 18, my target, Dendreon. And Amylin, Pharmaceuticals, wanted to show you how this is shaping up. After the breakout of the base and a strong move last week, the stock has backed off, reversed, and now is in a wedge. This is a very nice pattern, one of my favorites, above resistance. Could very well run up into the 21-22 zone, my next target. Mitek, really like the way this little flag setting up. I wanted you to see it, a little pennant or flag here on low volume. And with great technicals, I expect the stock to break out and explode here to at least get up to 12 3/4, 13 range short term. If it should break that, the long-term chart is extremely positive. With technical surging and volume surging, I expect it to break it through here, through that line, and start to run into the mid to high teens. And lastly, and alongside is TVIX, although I won't go over all the ultra shorts. This one looks very unique. We had that big move up, at which point I recommended, not far from here, recommended that ideally on a pullback, but I said that the stock is going to 23 and 26. It then had an abrupt pullback. Held right on the 10-day moving average, right on lateral price support, reversed, pullback, and then today up again. $1.89 or 11%, 42 million, an all-time record high volume for the stock ever. Tells me something of a positive nature for the ultra short and of a negative nature for the market potentially. We'll have to keep tabs on this one tomorrow. Something tells me this is going to run. And this is one to keep close tabs on. The swing trade is still intact because the stop at 15 was not taken out. Let's go over to the short side. Gardner Denver. Well, some of you were concerned because I put out a short 2 days ago when the stock cracked here, but notice where it got to, right to support and bounced, but right to resistance, couldn't get through, right back down today, losing 229 at 3%. But look where the stock is situated. It's sitting right on top of what appears to me to be key support that, if broken, could lead to a waterfall drop of 7 to 8, 10 points down in here to at least the 63, 65 zone. Pitney Bow is looking ugly, broke out of this big wedge. If you look back on the pattern, I'm sorry folks, I forgot to adjust the charts. Hang on a second with me. I realize that you can't see the whole chart. And as a result, what I'm going to do real quickly is go back over Gardner Denver real quick. So you can see the pattern. And you can see how this head and shoulders top formed, broke, formed a rising wedge here, broke down again and consolidating here, but it looks lower. So Pitney Bows, again, this stock has been in a really bad waterfall decline, but it snapped back, broke down, and formed a rising wedge, which ultimately may lead to lower levels. And my target is down in the mid-teens. Rent to center RCII, we put out a short on that today. You can see how it broke down and formed a bear flag here. Today backed off at 66 cents, a couple percent, but the thing to key in on is whether this pattern here is broken to the downside. And once it gets below 33 3/4 or so, we can see this really start to fall. LRN, nasty pattern. Broke down here hard, snapped back up to what looks like the beginnings of a falling channel, which could take this stock at least down to test 17 again. OPNET, topping pattern here. You can see how the stock ran back up to resistance, failed, came down miserably, and it's still coming down. Right now on this double bottom support, and if it breaks the zone here, you can see it come down into the mid-20s, my next target. Cash America, CSH, topped and has been stepping its way down. It did have a rally back to the declining tops line, and then it's pulled back down and it's beginning to fall away again. Look for a retest of 39.40 zone. Google. Well, I must say that what looks like a massive top formation or head and shoulders top with a left shoulder, head and right shoulder could be forming today. We'll watch this carefully, but if this pattern breaks here and breaks sharply below this 600 range, you may see a cascade waterfall type decline into the 560, 570 zone. That's my next target for Google. Tiffany forming a bear flag and just tagged the top of the channel and could be rolling over here, worth watching. The overall pattern is a big topping pattern. If it breaks that, we can see this fall into the mid to high 40s even. World Acceptance, another stock that may be on the verge of a breakdown after forming kind of a head and shoulders, breaking down hard here and snapping back to resistance, beginning to roll over again. A move under 62.5 could take this down into the 54.5 zone. And lastly is Decker's Outdoor, which although it was up 336 today, still remains in a wedge pattern within the confines of a declining channel in the process of a massive top formation going back more than a year. Watch carefully for Decker's. If it breaks down here and pulls back down under 75.6 zone, could be all over for a move down into the, let's call it the low to mid 60s for starters. And that's the ideas both long and short for today. You guys have a good evening. Bye now.